May I introduce the Principal, John Crowley, to present his vision for what we're about to embark upon. Thank you, John.
Well, welcome. Like John Brodie, who just offered an apology for his throat, I'll offer an apology for my limping today. As you know, we had Head of the Lake, and I was so enthusiastic in front of our 250 Year 12 boys that I ended up doing a bit of synchronised swimming in front of them in Lake Wendouree, landing on my hip. And the irony of it was made a little bit more bearable when one of the boys looked at me and he said, "Mr. Crowley, get out of the water quick because we get disqualified if you're in the water." And so it's with great joy and enthusiasm that I welcome everyone here tonight to witness what we hope will be the start of an historic project which will guarantee and secure the long-term future of boarding at St Patrick's College. In particular, I'd like to thank Graham for agreeing to MC the evening and officially welcome all guests here, but especially our current boarding students who are sitting over there very quietly, who will be the first beneficiaries of what we are announcing tonight. And so in offering this welcome, we acknowledge the traditional custodians of this great land. They are the Wathaurong people. We pay our respects to any elders, past and present, and acknowledge their care of the land over many thousands of years. May we walk on this land gently and respectfully. In a school community as large as St Patrick's College, each week presents its own waves of highs and lows. And it would be fair to say that this week has been more turbulent than most. From recognising, witnessing and sharing the trauma and heartache so many in our community are reliving through the important work of the Royal Commission, to seeing the joy on the faces of our rowers and Year 12 boys and their supporters competing in the Head of the Lake today. It certainly has been a roller coaster of emotions. And we hope that tonight we can enjoy each other's company, reflect on the many wonderful things under the St Patrick's College umbrella, and look ahead to a bright and promising future. Upon arriving at St Patrick's College, it certainly didn't take long for me to realise the crucial role boarding plays in the lives of our students and in this great institution. In many ways, it is the lifeblood of the school. It provides the heartbeat, the place in the school where the greatest of friendships and bonds are formed and always have been, and where true traditions and cultures of St Patrick's College manifest daily into the lives of fine young men. At its peak in the 50s and 60s, boarding was dominant at this college. At times, we house upwards of 300 students in old-fashioned dorms and cold shower blocks. Looking around the room tonight, you'll see many photos from past decades, and while by today's standards the facilities appear quite rudimentary, they merely provided the backdrop for the great memories that boys lived and experienced here. In my current role, one of the great privileges afforded to me is the opportunity to attend reunions of old collegians, and at each one, it is the boarders who return in greatest numbers, with great passion and great memories. The strength of the bonds built in a boarding experience at St Patrick's College were never more evident than at the turn of the century, when the college found reason to question its ongoing commitment to offering a boarding program. The passion that decision provoked was something spectacular. Past and current parents and students rallied, and they rallied hard. They argued strongly and decisively that St Patrick's College, without boarding, is not really St Patrick's College at all, at least not in the way they remembered it and wanted future generations to remember it. Fortunately, their arguments, their passion and their commitment prompted a change, and the decision by the then new Headmaster, Dr. Peter Casey, to restore boarding and ensure its future was met with great joy and thanks, in no small part, to the great work of those who campaigned to save boarding. And so tonight I wish to publicly acknowledge and thank those who fought so hard to save one of the truly great traditions at St Patrick's College. However, as we know, time does not stand still, particularly for ageing buildings and decade-old facilities. And while the college over the past 15 years has worked incredibly hard to build boarding numbers back to a sizable level, the boarding infrastructure has obviously struggled to keep pace. In the most recent years, our boarding community, while strong, has been disparate and remote. Our boys have lived in 4 separate houses, McCann, Nangle, Kenny and File and Farley, coming together as one community for dinner before heading home to their separate ways to all corners of the college and even off-site. And this is far from ideal. Compounding the problem was the fact that many aspects of our houses are in dire need of refurbishment and repair. The buildings, put simply, are old and dated. And apart from Kenny House, they were not originally built for the purposes of boarding and certainly do not cater for the needs of teenage boys in today's modern, connected society. In short, while we believe we are offering an outstanding boarding program full of opportunities and joy, our buildings are holding us back and restricting us from being best practice, and this needs to change. Boarding is a major investment for families. Along with the emotional turmoil and transition associated with sending a much-loved child many hours away for a better education comes the significant financial considerations. So, when families are making the decision to spend many thousands of dollars investing in their child's future, they want to do so in the knowledge they are getting the best value for their dollar. They want comfort, security and warmth and protection. They want their sons to have space and privacy and room to move. They want modern facilities. They want outdoor and indoor recreation areas. They want sun and shade, modern kitchens, bathrooms, bedrooms and furnishings. They want their boys to find a new home away from home where they can socialise, study, learn and grow into great men. They want a community and a village to raise their child. And so with that in mind, the challenge presented itself. How can we ensure that boarding at St Patrick's no longer continues to merely exist, but to flourish? How can we, as a Catholic school in the Edmund Rice tradition, continue to offer the broadest and most complete academic and co-curricular experience to boys from across Ballarat, across Victoria and indeed across Australia? And it is here I must slightly digress and acknowledge another great tradition for St Patrick's College, which has emerged through the provision of boarding, namely our Indigenous Education program, which has continued to thrive over the past decade and is, I believe, second to none. We are honoured and privileged and proud to provide a home to so many Indigenous boys from some of Australia's most remote locations over the years, and they have enriched our community beyond measure. Last year we had 11 Indigenous students successfully complete Year 12, in addition to 10 the previous year, and this is an exemplary achievement, one of which we can enormously be proud of. So, to the future and our vision. Later this evening, our Director of Boarding, Mr Mike Silcock, will more specifically outline the bricks and mortar side of things and unveil some of our plans. I will announce that St Patrick's College is embarking upon a major fundraising effort to ensure the long-term future of boarding in first-class custom-built facilities for generations to come. We will bring all of our boarders together in one designated precinct in the northwest corner of the college, where they will have access to brand new, ultra-modern, spacious, comfortable living. They will live as one community, not as 3 or 4 separate houses. They will learn, dine, study, play, relax and grow together. They will have wonderful new amenities, both indoor and out, in a vibrant community. They will welcome boys from across Australia in numbers that haven't been seen here for 2 decades. The new precinct will enable us to nearly triple our current boarding student population. Importantly, it is not just our boarding students who will benefit greatly. Our staff will have access to refurbished facilities in boarding houses presently known as McCunny and Nangle. We'll be able to accommodate families and young children in a much more friendly environment. Our boarding staff will be able to live as families, not merely as housemasters. They'll be able to entertain themselves, enjoy their own backyards and welcome friends and families into their homes. And it's our belief that happier staff will create a happier environment for our boys. Much work has already been done in preparing this announcement. The college has spent a great deal of time in consultation with various stakeholders, including staff, students, council and neighbours, and we thank them for their input thus far. We've engaged Morton Dunn, who have expertly guided us throughout the process so far. But there is, of course, still much work to be done. We hope that in the coming weeks the full council permits will be issued, granting us the ability to commence construction, and of course we'll need to move then into the tendering process. Such grand aims do come at a considerable cost for the college. This is a $4 million, I'll say that again, $4 million project that we are hopeful that a percentage of that expenditure can be recouped through the generosity of our college community. And again, much work has been done in this regard already. And you will hear further details tonight from the likes of Appeal Patron Christian and Director of Development Paul Nolan about some of these exciting developments to date. Lastly, this, I believe, is a once-in-a-generation moment for St Patrick's College. We have a chance to build upon our boarding greatness in a dynamic and exciting manner. All aspects of our college will benefit enormously from this project. Our academic levels will rise, co-curricular endeavours will continue to improve, our Indigenous education program will strengthen, and our community will continue to grow from the most solid of foundations. And I can think of no more exciting way for us as a college to continue to raise fine boys to the status of great men, and I hope you can join us and support this fantastic opportunity. Thank you for coming.